Zimbabwe was formerly known as Rhodesia, named after Cecil Rhodes. It gained independence from British colonial rule on April 18, 1980. Zimbabwe is home to the Victoria Falls, one of the largest waterfalls in the world. Victoria Falls is one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. The official language of Zimbabwe is English. The country gained international fame through the novels of Doris Lessing, who was born there. Zimbabwe is a landlocked country in southern Africa. It shares borders with Zambia, Mozambique, South Africa, and Botswana. Zimbabwe has a diverse landscape, including savannas, woodlands, and mountains. The Great Zimbabwe Ruins are the largest ancient stone construction south of the Sahara. These ruins are a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The name, Zimbabwe, is derived from the Shona words, Zamba dza Mabwe, meaning, houses of stone. The Shona people are one of the 2 major ethnic groups in Zimbabwe. The other major ethnic group is the Ndebele. The country has a population of over 14 million people. Zimbabwe has one of the highest literacy rates in Africa, with over 90% literacy. It has a rich cultural heritage, with vibrant music, dance, and art traditions. Traditional Zimbabwean music includes mbira music, which features the thumb piano. Zimbabwe is known for its skilled stone sculptors. The country has a diverse wildlife population, including elephants, lions, and rhinos. Havang National Park is the largest game reserve in Zimbabwe. It is home to over 100 mammal species and 400 bird species. Mana Pools National Park is known for its scenic beauty and wildlife. Zimbabwe has a subtropical climate with a rainy season from November to March. The country faced economic challenges in the early 2000s, including hyperinflation. Zimbabwe abandoned its own currency and adopted the US dollar and other foreign currencies. In 2016, Zimbabwe introduced bond notes as a surrogate currency. In 2019, Zimbabwe reintroduced its own currency, the Zimbabwean dollar. Victoria Falls is known locally as Mosi Oe Tunia, which means the smoke that thunders. The Zambezi River forms the border between Zimbabwe and Zambia. The Matobo Hills in Zimbabwe are known for their unique rock formations and ancient cave paintings. Cecil Rhodes, after whom Rhodesia was named, is buried in the Matobo Hills. Zimbabwe has a rich agricultural heritage, with crops like maize, tobacco, and cotton being grown. Zimbabwe was once known as the breadbasket of Africa, due to its agricultural productivity. The country's economy is heavily dependent on agriculture and mining. Zimbabwe is rich in mineral resources, including gold, platinum, and diamonds. The Marangwe diamond fields in eastern Zimbabwe are one of the largest diamond deposits in the world. The country has a high HIV/AIDS prevalence rate, but it has made progress in combating the disease. The Zimbabwean flag features 7 horizontal stripes of green, yellow, red, black, red, yellow, and green. There is a white triangle on the left side of the flag with a black-bordered white Zimbabwe bird. The Zimbabwe bird is an ancient emblem associated with the Great Zimbabwe Ruins. Lake Kariba is one of the world's largest man-made lakes. It was created by the damming of the Zambezi River. Lake Kariba is a popular destination for fishing and wildlife viewing. Zimbabwe's traditional cuisine includes sadza, a thick maize porridge, and various meat and vegetable dishes. The country celebrates its Independence Day on April 18. Robert Mugabe was the first Prime Minister of independent Zimbabwe. He served as the country's leader for nearly 4 decades until he was ousted in a military coup in 2017. Zimbabwe has a parliamentary democracy with the president as the head of state and government. The country has a mixed legal system influenced by English common law and customary law. Traditional Zimbabwean ceremonies include weddings, initiation ceremonies, and ancestral worship rituals. The Shona people have a rich oral tradition, with storytelling playing an important role in their culture. The country has a growing tourism industry, with visitors attracted to its natural beauty and wildlife. The Zimbabwe International Trade Fair is held annually in Bulawayo. The University of Zimbabwe, located in Harare, is the oldest and largest university in the country. Zimbabwe has produced several notable athletes, including sprinter Kirsty Coventry, who won multiple Olympic medals in swimming. The country has a national cricket team that competes internationally. Cricket is a popular sport in Zimbabwe, along with soccer and rugby. The Zimbabwe International Film Festival showcases local and international films. The country has a rich history of struggle against colonialism and apartheid. The Chimanimani Mountains are known for their biodiversity and hiking trails. The Eastern Highlands are popular destination for ecotourism and adventure sports. The country has a network of national parks and wildlife reserves for conservation purposes. The Save Valley Conservancy is one of Africa's largest private wildlife reserves. Zimbabwe has a rich tradition of storytelling, with folk tales passed down through generations. The country has a vibrant performing arts scene, with theatre, dance, and music performances. The country has a national gallery and museum that showcase its history and culture. The National Arts Council of Zimbabwe promotes the arts and cultural heritage of the country. The Shona sculpture movement emerged in the mid-20th century and gained international acclaim. The National Gallery of Zimbabwe in Harare houses a significant collection of contemporary African art. The country has a diverse population with various ethnic groups and languages. The currency of Zimbabwe is the Zimbabwean dollar, which replaced the bond notes in 2019. The country has a high unemployment rate, which has led to significant emigration. Zimbabwe has a high prevalence of malaria, particularly in rural areas. The country has a national health system that provides free primary care to its citizens. The country's transportation infrastructure includes roads, railways, and airports. The Beitbridge border post is the busiest border crossing between Zimbabwe and South Africa. The Kariba Dam is one of the largest hydroelectric power stations in Africa. Zimbabwe's economy is heavily dependent on agriculture, mining, and manufacturing. The country has faced challenges with corruption and political instability. The Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation is the state-owned broadcaster. The country has a vibrant music scene, with genres like Afro-pop, gospel, and hip-hop. The country has a national soccer team, known as the Warriors. Zimbabwe has a high rate of mobile phone penetration, with most people accessing the internet via smartphones. The country has a growing tech sector, with startups focused on fintech, e-commerce, and mobile apps. Zimbabwe has a national airline, Air Zimbabwe, which operates domestic and international flights. The country has a rich tradition of traditional medicine, including herbal remedies and spiritual healing. Zimbabwe has a high rate of urbanization, with many people migrating from rural areas to cities in search of better opportunities. The country has a national parks authority responsible for managing its wildlife reserves and protected areas. The Gonerezo National Park is one of Zimbabwe's largest wildlife reserves. The country has a rich history of struggle against colonialism and imperialism. The Zimbabwe African National Union Patriotic Front is the ruling political party. The Movement for Democratic Change is the main opposition party. Zimbabwe has a national soccer league, known as the Zimbabwe Premier Soccer League.